The next thing we're going to talk about is our beam joins here, beam column joins. And what happens there is you basically decide on which beam gets cut back when they intersect or whether it's a miter joint. It's similar to this one right here, which is wall joins, except for it's specific to beams. So we have some steel beams, we have some wood beams, we have some precast concrete beams. Concrete itself behaves a little bit differently because it's poured and it more or less joins right away. It's a bit different, but precast is different. It acts like a regular beam, and we're talking about how these beams get connected when they intersect with each other. So I'm going to go up, they're on the second floor. I'm going to go up to my second floor. Probably change my view range here to say unlimited. That way I'll be able to see down a little bit darker. Now what we do is we start our tool here, and as soon as we do, we'll see some options on the options bar here. And what it says is, show me the steel beam connections, the wood beam connections, and the precast. So if I go over here and I say, okay, I don't want to see the precast or the wood, it just won't show it to me. Doesn't matter. Now that I'm looking at the steel ones, when you zoom in, what happens is this one is not being cut back, and this one is this one's being cut back, this one is not. So watch what happens when you flip this and it goes in there. Now they're both going away from the joint. Okay, and that's when you get your miter cut. You can basically take these two guys and form whichever connection you want. It's pretty straightforward. This one, if you bring that one back, it cuts back. If you bring this one in, it goes forward. If you bring them both in, then they form your miter joint. So you can basically go through and form whatever you want. This one's going away. This one needs to flip like this. Now we can say, okay, I only want to see the wood ones, not the steel ones. There's my wood ones. Same type of thing. It's up to you. It's a little flip arrow, very straightforward, forming those. Precast, maybe we'll leave our precast just like that. Turn the visibility on. Maybe we just want to flip them the other way, just for the halibut. Okay, very straightforward, nothing too fancy, like that. So keep an eye on your options bar here as usual. And this is a tool specifically for where beams, steel, wood, and precast beams start to come together. Others probably custom families or something, and how that works. To clear it, escaping doesn't seem to do it all the time. So if you're not sure, hit modify. Modify here, clicking this is like doing 3 escapes or so. It's the kind of the mothership of all clearing your selection and command. So click the modify button and it all goes back. So this can be done in a plan view, or clearly, as we see, it can be done in a 3D view. If you lock it, then that means that you won't get the little flip arrows. This one you'll still see the flips, even though they're a bit small. When you lock it, the flip arrows go away. If I go to here and I go back to here and I start my beam joins again, you'll see that this one is showing the miter cut and it's locked. I'd have to unlock that to bring it back. So nice and straightforward, connecting beam joins. And one last point on when beams are connecting here. Let me just go back to the second floor. If you pick on a beam, you'll see this kind of dot, control grip. If you click on here, you'll see one too. If you pick both of them at the same time and that grip turns into a hollow circle, that means that they are sharing a common node, which is important when you're dealing with these connections. Okay, so if you pick on here and you pick on here and that center one turns into a circle, then that means that that's a common point and is going to work better with your beam joints. And that goes for when all beams connect. Okay, if you click here and all of a sudden it turns into this hollow circle, then that means that you have a common point. And that is where you know your beams are talking to each other, and that's where your beam joints is going to work best, because they have to be talking to each other in order to do that. So have a look and click both at the same time and have a look for that little hollow common component end grip.